those 3 months now, because what we're doing is we're looking the 5 years into the future and we're working backwards. We're working backwards to see what we needed to get to that future 5-year marker, to that goal. And remember, when we have a goal, it has to be achievable. It has to be realistic. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, and practitioners, responding directly to the needs of a practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business, something clinical, you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in practice. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for our episodes. If you'd like more support, get in contact, and I look forward to working with you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. Well, today I wanted to talk about planning and predicting in the future. So in the Academy, we just had the in-person retreat and the virtual retreat. And what we were doing was planning and goal setting. And one of the things that we did was we talked about what would be happening in the future. So when we plan and predict our business, we've really got to sit down and make those plans. We need goals. So if you don't have a vision board, time to get one. It's very easy to do a vision board, but there's other ways of doing it as well. And what I'd like you to do is you might want to stop and start this podcast, or you might want to have a solid listen and then sit down and do it at the end. But what I want you to do is to think 5 years into the future, right? Just 5 years. Often we do the meditation where you go up into the sky and then you go forward and it's 20 years in advance. Often do that one. But this one is 5 years into the future. Let's really go with something you can see now. You can see that goal and what you will be doing in 5 years' time, right? If everything comes to fruition. We're going to talk about the years getting there in a moment. But what I would like you to vision forward to is what it's like for you in 5 years' time. So if I think back 5 years, I had no way of knowing that I would be sitting here with a podcast, with a YouTube channel, with with this huge screen in front of me, with a really cool camera, with a good mic. Well, actually, I've had the mic 5 years, so maybe not. Maybe the mic was already there. But you know what I mean. What is it you're seeing in 5 years' time? And when I think about my clients from 5 years ago, I certainly had no idea that I would be online seeing my clients. Okay, I thought that I would still be working in my rooms and people would still be coming in to see me. When I think back to 2019, end of 2019, we were just putting into place a number of changes for my business, including employing another naturopath. So that didn't happen. 2019, 2020 hit and that was all literally thrown out the window. I was just about to print a load of take-home files for my clients. So thankfully, I didn't print all of those things. I would have been left with all of that print. We just turned them all into documents online, so they're PDFs for my clients. So I can look back and then look to now. But what do I see 5 years into the future? What is it I'm looking at? What is it you are looking at? What is it you feel that you want? Because when we project into that future, what do you have around you? Who do you have around you? What do you see around you? What's the environment like? What are you dressed in? What are you wearing? Yes, fashions change. Will you be the latest fashion or will you be dressed in a power suit? It doesn't have to be the latest fashion item. Who knows if it's going to be miniskirts or long frocks in 5 years? For me, who cares? That's not my thing. But what have you achieved to get where you are? And what salary are you looking at? What is your income in 5 years' time? Because, what is it that you want to be doing? You want to be working 3 days a week. You want to be seeing, personally, it was 15 clients a week. So what are the earnings from that? We've got income from product that we sell. You might have a program up and running by then. Programs are great and everything, but they're not the be-all and end-all. The be-all and end-all is seeing the client, is making the client well, is seeing that one-to-one client. We don't have to have programs, and it's a good idea to have packages, but we don't have to have programs. So everyone's telling you to do things. You've got to go and write the program. You've got to go and do this. You've got to go and do that. But lots of these things, you look at it, you've got to be on social media. You look at these things and you actually just want to dig your eyes out with a blunt spoon kind of thing when you look at these things people are telling you to do. We really need to project that forward so that we can see where we want to be in 5 years, financially, emotionally, socially, in business, and, in our home life. Okay? So think about that. Maybe stop, write that down. If you're in the car driving, you have to do it later. But have a real think about that, because then this would be the place to pause if you wanted to. Because then I want you to think about 4 years into the future. Now that's 1 year less. What would be the difference at year 4? Okay. Your financial projections would probably be different. Perhaps if you're at the beginning of a relationship, it might be that you're getting married in 4 years. There's going to be social and emotional things, but we're really talking business here. What are your finances doing at the 4 year mark to achieve that 5 year, not plateau would be absolutely the wrong peak, that 5 year peak. But what we want to find out at the end of the 5 years is it a plateau or is it a peak? Okay. So at the 4 year mark, what were you doing at the 4 year mark into the future? You're projecting forward still to hit that 5 year goal. What was it like for you at year 4? Maybe the year 5 goal is 15 clients a week, working 40 weeks a year. And on top of that, having done some training in something else so that there's additional income stream from that. Or maybe you enjoy your 2 jobs. Maybe you're working like I was as a nurse 2 days a week and as a naturopath 2 days a week. That's what I used to do. So where is it that you're at in 4 years' time? Now, if you're going to pause it here. So year 3 years' time, again, how have things changed? So we're coming backwards in this journey. We're not going forward in this journey. We're not sitting today and going, what will I do tomorrow? We're starting from the forward and coming back. So at the 3 year marker, where are you financially? Where are you socially? Where are you emotionally? Where are you working? What is around you? What are you surrounded by? What is happening to you, that 3 year marker? And then we come back to the 2 years. Again, obviously you've just paused if you're going to. The 2 year marker. What's happening at that 2 year marker? What's changed? What's different? What is it you're projecting forward to? So it might be that in 2 years you'll be qualified from now. So how are we going to, we're qualified, we're about to step out into the world at the 2 year mark or the 1 year mark, whatever it is. What are you going to achieve? What are you going to have achieved to get there? So we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about into the future. It might be that you're going, okay, I want 2 clients a week when I qualify. I want to have a website up and running at this point because it's what I've got at the 2 year marker. So I've got my website up and running. I've got these things. I've got my social media steadily pumping out whatever it is. Not overwhelming me. I'm doing it once a week or twice a week because the algorithms will always put the same few at the top of the algorithm. So there are only certain people watching Insta that are buying. So we need a presence there, yes, but are you at year 2 at the point where you've overwhelmed yourself? What is happening in your year 2 into the future? Now again, you'd pause if you're going to. Now that year 1, okay, so this is your first year, you're at the end of your first year of business. And at the end of your first year of business, how did it look? What is it you've achieved at the end of that first year of business? And then you're going to do that for the 6 months. And now you're going to do this for the 3 months we're in right now. So the 3 months we're in right now, if you're listening to this fresh and bougie today, then you're about to hit Christmas. But if you happen to have come across this podcast and it's January, then great, because it's the first 3 months of the year or whenever it is. But those 3 months now, because what we're doing is we're looking the 5 years into the future and we're working backwards. We're working backwards to see what we needed to get to that future 5 year marker, to that goal. And remember, when we have a goal, it has to be achievable. It has to be realistic. And it has to be honest. It might be that your goal for 5 years' time financially is to make $1 million, but you're only going to have 1 client a month. So how much is that client valued at? And how are you going to achieve that? So these have to be realistic goals. So if you're going to make that $1 million, it might be that you have to see 100 people a week or whatever it is. So let's make sure that our 5-year goal is a realistic goal, and then we can work back from that to the now, to what we need to do in this 3 months coming up, because we can see the 6 months, we can see the 1 year, we can see the 2 years now, because we've worked backward from the 5 years. So plain piece of paper for this one. There won't be anything in the podcast download for you, but this is something that we should all be doing and thinking about, is looking forward, because then we can work out how we did it by coming backward. So I hope you've enjoyed today, and as usual, if you've stayed to the end, to the bitter end with me, which isn't very long really, is it? We've only been on here 11 minutes. But if you stayed to the bitter end, please leave a review. I'd really appreciate it, just like I'd leave a review for you if I came to see you, because reviews for small business are really important. So have a good one, and I look forward to catching up with you on the next cast. And before I go, if you have got anything that you wanted to share with me, don't forget to email Geraldine at mentoringwithgeraldine.biz, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.